Hey YouTube, welcome back. Good to have you back. Good to be able to post a new video for you. Hope you had a great Christmas and had some time to relax, spend time with loved ones. Hope you were in a warm place and had plenty to eat and had the joy of the season around you. It was a good Christmas here. Just returned home from West Virginia and Virginia. Got to spend a few days of quality time with loved ones and grandkids and children and family members, siblings, and it was nice. Had a few days of no internet, no news for the most part, and it was refreshing. Doesn't mean my mind stops and I'm not thinking about other things that are troubling and on the horizon. That's something I want to talk to you about in this video, that I believe is going to be a bigger crisis that I'm certain there are no plans for, and we all in one way or another are going to witness and or have to deal with it in some way. Right before I went on holiday, I watched a video posted by a Patriot brother that goes by the name Monkey Works, and he had been doing some analysis, and he showed a chart of what is believed to be all of the flights in 2023 of individuals who are crossing the border and being bussed in by private citizens who are funding it, who are being bussed into airports and then flown to cities all around America. And based on his calculations of 200 per flight, based on the number of flights, accumulation totals about 1.4 million individuals. This does not count the individuals who are crossing the border on foot. And I find it interesting when told these individuals show up with no ID. How is it individuals who show up with no ID are handed pre-printed packets in the language they speak with a already determined destination of where they're going to be flown to in a city throughout America? How is it we're told about terrorist watch lists and individuals who are caught at the border, who are detained or sent back outside the country? See, this doesn't make sense to me. How is it millions of individuals who are not citizens, whether they're bussed in, flown in, or walked in, are given the freedom of pass into the United States, but our government is doing nothing to control the flow in, but yet they tell us there's an escalated threat like never before throughout our country. You see, I have a problem with this because I don't see any elected official who is paid and elected by districts within their state to represent their people, but yet I hear no sirens or bells ringing of an emergency call of an invasion. Absolutely none. Nothing is happening. And in time, as New York City is doing now, and I believe the mayor of Denver recently spoke out, hundreds of thousands of non-citizens are invading cities on buses and being dropped off with packets. They're given a pay card with several $1,000s and a cell phone. In some cases there's prearranged housing, in some cases not. These individuals are going to end up on the street. Many of them, most of them, are giving court appearance dates 3 and 4 and 5 years out. These individuals are going to spread out throughout the cities and states. Freedom to transit state to state. They may or may not get jobs. They're going to be part of a system that is already overwhelmed. Our homeless rates are increasing. The jobless rates are increasing. The ability for working citizens who are taxpayers, the ability to buy food is growing very difficult. Utilities have increased. The cost to pay mortgages, pay auto loans, pay rent is causing parents, especially single parents, they're having to take 2 and 3 jobs. I know, boo-hoo, right? This is our problem. It's not the problem of the person I'm telling you about. It is our problem as citizens of this country. And if you don't see it and feel it now, you're going to feel it in 2024. You're already feeling it on the economy. You see, we're mixing several million individuals into a culture that is not theirs, climate that's not theirs, an economy that's not theirs. And a big concern I have is they are not being checked out medically, and we don't know what diseases they could be carrying into our country, and they're going to be mixing with our populace. This is one problem, though a concerning problem, but it is one problem. I talked to an individual just before the holidays here in my local area who was telling me she's a single parent of 2, and she works 1 full-time job and 2 part-time jobs. In the past 2 years, her rent has gone from $900 a month to $1,800 a month. It has doubled. Okay, this is going to push people out into the streets, into the homeless community. All right. I heard from another individual, a Patriot brother I know, who was telling me at Christmas their church provided 2,100 meals. Okay. Yeah, there's always a few who take advantage of the system and go eat for free. So let's say 10%. We're still talking 1,900 human beings who needed outside support to have a meal for Christmas. And the same thing happened at Thanksgiving. Many people who depend upon a Thanksgiving meal at food banks and community centers went to get food, and they could not, because when they showed up at the time that was designated, there were already over 1,000 non-citizens in line to get the food. Okay, I'm not saying any human doesn't deserve to be fed. What I'm saying is the population of citizens and non-citizens is going to overwhelm the ability to feed those in need. And when they aren't fed, then the problems start to begin, and that's where it's going to impact all of us. I know an individual who is does not qualify yet for drawing Social Security, paid into the system through taxes, is now medically unable to hold a job in writing from a doctor, that is living in conditions. This person has shelter. They don't have running water. They have rain barrels for water, and they eat with wood. And this person is currently getting $17 a month through the welfare system for food. That is $17. And when I see non-citizens crossing the border and handed thousands of dollars, there's something definitely wrong with this picture. And this is just one or two or three stories of thousands that are out there. You yourself may have a need, or you may know family that has a need, or you may know friends that needs help to survive day to day. This is only going to continue to get worse. Okay. Over the many years of preparing, the question always is asked, I've only prepared enough food for X months or years, and I'm not preparing to feed strangers. What should I do? Well, this is an individual decision, okay? Family may not be preparing. Neighbors may not be preparing. Another group of people that we need to add into this equation are going to be the thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, and maybe millions of human beings who will likely start going door to door in neighborhoods with a bag asking for help. Okay? And it may be a tough decision. It's not my problem. I didn't prepare for them. I do believe we're all going to have to search in our heart and soul and humble ourselves to do the right thing. If individuals are homeless and they're cold and they don't have food, if this isn't resolved, it's only going to escalate to a much bigger problem that's going to be rampant throughout our country. And I can assure you, just like with every other great plan that is presented from Washington, D.C., I can assure you the thought and beginning action goes no further. There is no plan. Okay? There is no plan of how they're going to feed and house millions of individuals who are being led into the country for whatever reason it may be. Different topic, different day. The question is, how are you in your community, wherever you may be, how are you going to deal with it? All right? What are you going to do when you walk out to your car and instantly 3, 4, 5 individuals that you don't know approaches your car and they're begging, and it's 20 degrees outside, they're freezing, they have no coats or gloves or hats, and they have a child or 2 children? I remember many years ago in my former life, On one specific day, I was in Bucharest, Romania. It was pouring snow. It was freezing cold. And they had a problem there with Albanian refugees. There was an estimated like 3 million of them under the age of 18. And they used to have a name in the faith world of, it was like the City of Angels or something like that. And they lived underground in the sewer pipes. Millions. And Bucharest had roundabouts like they have in England. And when traffic would come to a stop in a roundabout, before you would know it, there would be children pressed against your car begging. And they would block your car so you couldn't move. And the young ladies, 16, 17, 18 years old, would strip off their tops and they would be bare-chested on the hood of your car, pressing their breast against the windshields. And it was so cold, their skin would be red, turning a pale white. Or you'd walk out a store and out of nowhere there would be 5, 10 of them surrounding you, begging for what you carried in your bag. Or if you hit an ATM, there was no one around. As soon as you reached to pull your cash from an ATM, they would come out of nowhere and they would get down on their knees and wrap their arms around your legs, begging for help. Now, in Eastern Europe, it is fairly common for refugees, if you will, to beg, panhandle, and so forth. Legal or not, when you are not accustomed to this way of life, it's going to be shocking to you, okay? And it's going to put some fear in you. And you can think now what you're going to do, but I'm telling you, I promise you, when it happens, you're going to be in shock, and what decision you make at that point is your guess. But it's probably not what you said at home and said, this is what I would do. Okay? I do believe this is coming. I do believe it's going to be much worse in 2024. The number of people who are homeless and they don't have food. Okay? The cities are overwhelmed. The cities don't have a plan for the sheltering or feeding. They are now begging the federal government for billions of dollars in support to try to handle the crisis. It's not going to happen. Politics are divided in Washington, and they're basically going to hold the cities who took on the refugees. They're going to hold them hostage and not send them the aid, most likely. So it is painful. It's painful to see people you know being neglected by the system when the system took their tax dollars for years, and basically now have turned their back on them. Okay? The system has turned its back on all of us. I firmly believe that. I do believe that homelessness and the need for welfare is much higher than we're told. The problem is it's going to be different than in World War II, where you witness food lines and people lining up to get food, like I witnessed in Eastern Europe several times, because they have EBT cards now. so they don't have to go stand in lines for milk, cheese, and bread. Okay, they just take their card and they swipe it and they pay for whatever it is they're authorized to buy. So you're not going to see this problem, but it is growing. Growing at a pace that I think is already out of control, and it's only going to get worse, and it's going to come down to citizenry in the communities to have to deal with in some way, whether you're standing up more food lines, you're working through a church to donate food, whatever it may be. It's something we all have to think about, because as I said in an earlier video a few months ago, starvation used as a weapon. If you go do the research and you look at any of the past studies where food was used as a weapon in the studies, and to see how hunger physically and the thought of not having proper nourishment psychologically degrades a human. Human beings will act in such a way that you are not going to recognize them as humans. Okay? Desperate. Labeling them as desperate is a very kind label, if you will. Okay? So, give these things some thoughts. Write to your politician. When they visit during holiday recess, go ask them the question. They're going to blame it on someone else, and I promise you, there's a bill for this and a bill for that. It doesn't feed people today. Okay? It doesn't feed them today. And they're going to continue busing these individuals in to overwhelm the system. And they have no plan for it. The only plan that's out there is going to be we the people and how we deal with it in our communities. Okay? Positive or negative, it's going to come down to we the people. Alright? So give it some thought. Good to be back with you. And if you have not subscribed, Pass Hope for Survival, a Christmas present, and subscribe. It's free. And if you like this video, please hit like, share, any comments. If you have cases where you're witnessing that, share it. I'd like to hear your story as well. And keep planning for the future, folks. It doesn't look overly good, and I hate to deliver this kind of message to you during the holiday week between Christmas and New Year, but things around the world are, there's shortages everywhere. Wheat, grain, the number of people that are behind on mortgages, that are behind on car payments, the number of people that can't pay their rent, everything down to even the microchips that are mostly developed in Taiwan. There's worldwide shortages in them. Shortages in medicinal needs, shortages in chemo for cancer patients. There's just shortages all over A to Z. So get yourself prepared. Get yourself prepared ever how you see fit to do. If you need help, you can go over to our website at hopeforsurvival.com, or you can email me preparedness101@protonmail.com. I can send you some checklists to get you started. The worst thing you can do right now is nothing. Okay? Don't be your worst enemy. Get started. Alright? And until next time, be blessed, stay healthy, and hopefully I can post another video before New Year's. But till then, keep your head on a swivel. Be alert. Things aren't getting better. Bless you. Bravo Echo out.